Hello viewers, this is Daphne Mushabe. I'm really so excited. This is my first YouTube video. I don't know how to show you my excitement, but anyway, I hope you enjoy my content. To take you back to my first YouTube channel, my first YouTube video, it's more about corporate governance, but under corporate governance is a topic called the Cadbury Report, and I want to show you how the Cadbury Report is relevant to corporate governance. The Cadbury Report came up in 1992. It was developed by Sir Adrian Cadbury at the investigation of the London Stock Exchange. It was the first attempt to formalize corporate governance best practices in a written document, which was aimed at raising a standard of financial reporting and auditing. The Cadbury Report was the result of several high-profile companies that had collapsed. For example, the Cadbury Report was once referred to as a report of the Committee on the Financial Aspects of Corporate Governance. It was published in December 1992 following the recommendations of the Cadbury Committee. Still on the introduction part, the Cadbury Report gave an elaborate definition of what corporate governance is, and it defined corporate governance as a system by which companies are directed and controlled. The boards of directors are responsible for the governance of their companies, and the shareholders' role in the governance is to appoint the directors and the auditors so that to satisfy themselves that there is an appropriate governance structure that is in place. Still, let me take you back to what's the Cadbury Committee. You've heard me talk about what a Cadbury Committee is. The Cadbury Committee was established in May 1991. That was before the Cadbury Report came up. And this committee was established by the Financial Reporting Council, the London Stock Exchange, and the accountancy profession. It was meant to address concerns about the working of the corporate governance system. The committee also made its purpose to address the financial aspects of the corporate governance and produce the code of best practices. It was the beginning of the contemporary corporate governance in 1992 that was intended to protect the weak shareholders, and also created a code of best practices in 1992. And that was within the Cadbury Report that came up in 1992. Also, the voluntary code for the listed companies, the voluntary code also came up, but for the listed companies, a compiled statement was required. I don't know if you guys are following, but briefly, I've introduced to you what a Cadbury Report is and how it came up and what it was meant to address. And also I've talked about what a Cadbury Committee, how the Cadbury Committee came up, or how it was established, and who established it, and what it was meant to address. Right? I hope you're enjoying my content. In case you like my content, please feel free to subscribe, to like, drop a comment on the next video that you want me to talk about, or a next topic you want me to address to you about. Still moving on, why was the Cadbury Report necessary? The Cadbury Report was necessary because there was a growing lack of investor confidence in the honesty and accountability of the listed companies. More so, there was financial collapse of the companies listed on the stock exchange. More so, there was a general lack of accountability of the board of directors. And finally, auditors were signing off accounts, which turned out to be a misrepresentation of the company's status. Let's look at the weaknesses of the Cadbury Report. The first weakness was it introduced contemporary corporate governance. More so, it influenced corporate governance across the world. which it still does up to now. It gave meaning to the four pillars of corporate governance. For example, accountability, fairness, transparency, independence. Yeah, really, it really gave a lot of meaning to the four pillars. Then another strength was it triggered the thinking waves about corporate governance. It improved leadership, created confidence amongst shareholders and customers and the suppliers, because now here people know what they're dealing with and they are sure that there's a lot of corporate governance. I mean, there's a lot of trust in the company with whom they're dealing with, the shareholders, the directors and stuff. Finally, the statutory authority for the code provisions led to comply or explain in the London Stock Exchange listed companies. We've looked at what the strength of the Cadbury Report came to address or have been addressing. One would wonder, didn't the Cadbury Report have any weaknesses? Yes, it did, like we are going to see in our next slide. The weaknesses of the Cadbury Report: it was quite costly to implement because it required 10% of the annual audit fee. Secondly, the London Stock Exchange did not want to delist non-compliant companies. Most of it was rigged and oppressive, reactionary, not organic. Most of the Cadbury Report was more inclined towards direction and control and weaken the management, which led to the management being weak. Also, the Cadbury Report took into account government principles. And finally, it was more local or municipal than international in terms of relevance and accountability. I hope you guys are really enjoying my content. In case you do, please feel free to drop a like I said before, drop a comment, and subscribe for the next videos, because I've been in preparation and have so many nice videos that are coming up next. I'll really be grateful. So let's look at the conclusion of the Cadbury Committee. The Cadbury Committee is formed for adequate working of corporate governance so that it reduces scams and failures of corporates. As a result, many companies change their governance, procedure, and conduct accordingly. Please, thank you for watching. That's the end of my video. Keep looking forward to my next video that I'm going to upload.